Hey Gear Seekers, I'm Nick. We're out here at Computex Taipei 2025 checking out what Phanteks has to offer, and they've got some pretty spicy new tidbits. But before that, here's a word from our sponsors. Take it away, Claire. Well, it's MSI, so yeah.
Surprise.
Surprise.
Our Computex Taipei 2025 coverage is proudly brought to you by MSI and their QD OLED gaming monitors. Think your monitor's good? Think again. MSI's QD OLEDs deliver perfect blacks, stunning colour and up to 500Hz refresh rates. It's like unlocking cheat codes. With 0.03 milliseconds response times, blink and you'll literally miss it. No fans, no noise, just cool, quiet graphene wizardry. PC or console, these monitors are ready with all the ports you will ever need. Go on, spoil your eyeballs. To find out more about MSI and their range of QD OLED gaming monitors, check out the links in the video description.
When we first started Gear Seekers, one of the most popular cases that we showed on the channel, and one that we did a lot of builds in, was the P400A. Now, they've kind of transitioned into the G series, which takes a lot of the design principles from the P series. I don't know why I called it P series, that's what it's called. With this new case, the G370A. The G360 was awesome, but this is a much more improved version of the case. And what do I mean by that? Ladies and gents, we have some beautiful included fans. This is one thing I've been trying to drill into people for such a long time with cases is I think it's very important to have included fans. Why? Cost, right? Brings the cost down and you get to have beautiful fans like this straight out of the box. If you're wondering how much this new airflow focus case is going for, it is going for $64.69, but I think Phanteks is adjusting the price to maybe $64.99 including tariffs. A lot of the feedback we're getting from you guys about case design is it feels a little bit stagnant, but that's not the point of the case, guys. It doesn't always have to be beautiful, it has to be functional. And cases like the G370A are designed for airflow, which is function. That's the whole point. You don't want your stuff to get hot. Let us know your thoughts down below. I like it. I like it. I like simple cases, you know me. If I could rack mount it, then I would probably rack mount it too. I really like custom water cooling. The issue has been there hasn't been easy solutions to recommend to you guys over the last few years, purely because the barrier for entry for water cooling can be quite steep. However, as we saw with Phanteks last year, they do have something called the Easy Fit system. But the version that we saw last year was predominantly focused on soft tubing. Now they've got a hard line solution, which I think is really, really awesome. And they've got a bunch of new distro plates for cases like the NV5 that are gonna make water cooling a lot more simple. Let me show you what I mean here. Traditionally with distro plates, you'll find that they have outlets and inlets in a particular spot, which can make planning a loop a little bit more difficult, especially if you're using water blocks with different offsets and whatnot. But Phanteks has kind of thought about this in a very clever way. They've created some cutouts to have the inlets and outlets on their new distro plates to be adjustable. What I mean by that is these screws here, you can loosen them and you can change them. You can push them in or out depending on your CPU block and your GPU block and whatnot. And I think this is a very simple solution. This new update to the Easy Fit system is coming really, really soon. I'm pretty keen to get my hands on this because as you guys have seen this year, we have done more water cooling than we would typically do. And it's something I do want to get a bit more into because to be honest with you guys, when I do water cooled builds, it feels like art. And yeah, I'm all about creating. I mean, I'm a creator at the end of the day, right? There's also some new GPU blocks. These are for Asus, MSI, and Aorus 5090 cards with Easy Fit connectors on the end too. So if you're wanting to block your GPU, Phanteks isn't leaving anything to chance. They've got everything that you need to get started with the Easy Fit system. And as you're seeing in the B-roll right now, they look pretty dang good. Along with the new Easy Fit distro plates are these new radiators. These are 45mm thick radiators with pre-installed Easy Fit connectors. Now, I need to rewind a little bit and explain what the Easy Fit system is. Essentially, there is no fittings you need to put on your radiators, your distro plates, your water blocks or anything like that. It's a press-in connector which to be honest makes it a little bit easier because it makes it easier to measure your tubes because you know exactly what the offset is going to be every single time when you insert the tube into the fitting. Now, if you're building custom loops, sometimes when you're using different fittings, it happens, guys. You don't always use the same fittings from the same manufacturer. The offsets can be different, and systems like this make it a heck of a lot easier. So yeah, I have requested to finally get some easy fit stuff on the channel. Keep your eyes peeled. We'll talk about pricing and all that stuff when we get this in hand back at the studio. Speaking of stuff that I've seen here that is very interesting, come and check this out. This for me is one of the best things I've seen here from Phanteks. It is their new X30 fan frames. We have seen stuff like this from Cooler Master in the past, but not quite done like this. And there's other people like NZXT have done this, but again, not quite like this. One thing that Phanteks has always been really good at is lighting. They have an integrated LED strip around the edge of the whole fan frame, as well as little bits of lighting inside of the ring. But the most special thing is this will be available in both reverse pitch and normal pitch. So you can make up your mind as to if you wanted to use it as intake or exhaust. But the star of the show, ladies and gents, is something that you may take for granted, and that is cable routing. There's a cable routing channel on the back side of the fan frame that will allow you to put it out either side. And it sounds like, oh, what? That's just obvious. Why wouldn't you do that anyway? But, you know, I don't need to say any more. It is really obvious. It should be done like that every single time. This will be available in 360 versions and 420mm versions too. That's not the coolest thing they've got. Man, there's so much this year. Guys, we're gonna see some cool new innovations. They have a new cooler. Check this out. In the tradition of vendors making screens on all of their coolers, they've decided to do it, but this one is done a little bit differently. They have this little, I think it's a 1572 pixel by 720 pixel display, and it's more like a mobile phone than probably any other screen we've seen on any other coolers. And the way this works is depending on the CPU, the case, or whatever it is that you have in your system, you can change the orientation of this screen. It's got little notches on the underside which will allow you to change the offset depending on where you have this installed in your case, or depending on the rotation of your pump top. You can either orient the screen on the Glacier 1 360 M25 LCD in a horizontal or a landscape layout, or you can switch it to a portrait layout if you like. To be honest with you guys, a lot of the time when we come and see this stuff at Computex, we know what we're walking into. We kind of have an idea, but when you see it in person, it always either looks worse or looks better. And based on the specs that I've already seen, this looks better in person than it does with any spec sheet you could see. It's really cool. It is really cool, and it feels like a phone. Although, yeah, it's not quite mobile, is it? It's got a USB-C cable in the back. Oh, that's crazy. It's snowing in Taipei just before. It's not even summer technically, is it? Is it? I don't know. I don't know in the Northern Hemisphere. I don't know what season it is when I come to the Northern Hemisphere. I'm so confused. My body's like, it should be cold right now, but it's hot. But it's not really that hot, this Computex, which is nice. But
maybe you need a fan.
I do need a fan to cool me down, and that's where we've got the new T30 fans, and not just any new T30, it's the 140mm T30 fans, which are designed for static pressure. So if you've got filters on the front of your case or radiators, these are designed to make air flow through those better rather than being just a regular case fan. And why I think T30s are important, well, rather, you know, like it's a fan, like we get it, you know, there's millions of fans on the market, but if there's a fan I can recommend that I personally use in almost all of my production systems is the T30 series of fans, because I'll put a link in the description. When I built out my rack mount Threadripper editing PC, when I built out my gaming PC in the rack, they all use T30 fans, and the reason is I have like a top 3 for fans when it comes to what I would recommend for production workloads. There's Scythe, there's Noctua, and then there's the Phanteks T30s. So yeah, that's the only reason I'm talking about it, because I think fans like this need to exist in the market. They're very, very important, right? High performance fans. It doesn't need to be all the bling bling and all the lighting. high performance fans is what I'm all about. You guys know me. If you don't know me, my name's Nick, this is Gear Seekers, and I'm into utilitarian PCs. Every single year at Computex, Phanteks always does one thing where I'm like, huh, that's pretty cool. I haven't really seen that before. And this year is no exception. They've got a new thing called the MATX series of cases. So you may be familiar with the XT View, which reviewed quite well when we did that. I'll put a link to that in the description if you want to see it. But with this, they've added a fabric strip to the bottom of the XT View. And you're like, okay, a bit of fabric, that's nothing special. We're seeing organic materials in cases before. No, not quite like this. It has a 600 LED array underneath the fabric, which allow you to essentially put anything you want on the side or the front of your case, depending on which case it is. I'm not going to give away too much now, but in the NextLink software, basically you can program it, say, hey, I want to see CPU temperatures, I want to see some animations, I want to have some text, just to customize your system a little bit better. We've seen screens to death, guys, all right? And yes, I did show their new screen, but this I think is way cooler. I think it's a bit more practical because let's say, for instance, you're sitting there gaming at a glance, you're more likely to see a massive line of scrolling text or a huge bar graph rather than a tiny little incy-wincy screen inside your computer case. So check this out. This LED matrix is perfectly bright and it's completely RGB. Like I said, you can do anything with it, but the XT View is only one small part of the matrix equation because you may remember a little case called the Evolve X2, which we showed last year, which we reviewed at the start of this year, but now, ladies and gents, there's a 900 LED version of the X2 with the same matrix display, but check this out. It wraps around that cool curve inside the X2. I think this is freaking cool. And this is a really good example of what can be done here. You can put in your CPU usage, you can do CPU thermals, GPU thermals, or when we walked in, they had Gear Seekers wrapping around that, which I thought was quite cool. And this is all controlled in their NextLink software, which I'm got a couple bits of feedback, and we've talked to Phanteks about this. The one kind of hiccup that I had personally with it was saving whatever you wanted to apply to be permanent, and they're working on it. With the next software update in NextLink, they'll have this all sorted out. So the people that I've seen comment about this, there's a fix coming, and it's coming very, very soon. But this new matrix design is really cool, and like we've seen stuff that's kind of similar but not implemented like this. This is just really nice. I like it. It adds a little bit more to that utilitarian design that I like. It's very practical and probably something that I would use. Before you say InWin has done something like this, it's not quite like this. This is pretty damn special. I like it. And ladies and gents, the pizza of resistance, you know, it's the best topping you can put on your pizza. This is the all new Phanteks XT-M3, and it's an MATX case that supports 360mm radiators. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's just right. All of the stuff that you're seeing here today is probably going to be out in Q4. We will be reviewing this case. This one looks very, very interesting. There's two versions of this coming in terms of fans. There is the no fan version, which is going to be $59.69 or around about $59.99 including tariffs, and the one with fans for $69.69, but probably $69.99 including tariffs. Stay tuned for this, the XT-M3, because I think this is probably, it sounds crazy, this is one of my picks here for what I'm seeing at Phanteks, because like I said, utilitarian, it is quite small, and I think because of the design with the front mesh panel will give Lian Li a bit of competition with their A3 MATX, but we don't know what they've got this year, so stay tuned for that because we will be checking them out later in the week. And that's it from us here, checking out Phanteks at Computex Taipei 2025. I can't believe it's 2025 already. Where is this year gone? I can't believe Computex is already on. So special thanks to Phanteks for having us through nice and early before everyone else. We're the first, guys. Believe it, they love us enough to let us be the first. All right, make sure you hit subscribe. And again, special thanks to MSI for sponsoring our Computex 2025 coverage. Check out the links to whatever ad that we ran at the start of this video because there's 8 of them this year. Oh, your boy Nick with Gear Seekers. You peek, we seek, and he said the thing, he said it, he said it. Wait, I'm gonna get some airflow. How does it taste? How does airflow taste? It tastes cheap, but not nasty. Why you like this?